Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Housing. There are 36,566 dwellings under the National Rental Affordability Scheme across the country, with Queensland being home to almost one-third of these. All are to be removed from the market by 2026, but the government's Housing Future Fund has only promised 30,000 affordable homes over 5 years. As rents and interest rates continue to skyrocket, does the government acknowledge that this plan doesn't even account for the loss of NRAS housing, let alone deal with the scale of the housing crisis?
Give the call to the Minister for Small Business, Housing and Homelessness.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member opposite for his question. The Albanese government does understand that safe and affordable housing is central to the security and dignity of all Australians, and we want every Australian to have the security of having a roof over their head. Indeed, the scheme, the National Rental Affordability Scheme, provided rental accommodation to around 55,000 Australians, but it was abolished by the former government 8 years ago. 8 years ago they cancelled NRAS, and homes have been leaving the scheme since 2018, when the 10-year agreement started to expire, without any plan to replace the homes. There's no sugarcoating that rental affordability challenges exist, which is why, of course, we have our $10 billion Housing Australia Future Fund, which we introduced into the parliament today. The NRAS scheme is a perfect example, though, of the neglect from those opposite that they showed for housing over the last decade. Our solutions are long-term, will provide certainty and stability for future projects, with the fund there in perpetuity and the returns being invested in social and affordable housing. Indeed, we've already unlocked up to $575 million to immediately invest in social and affordable housing, and these projects are underway today. I've already made announcements around the country about some of these projects. And of course, the 30,000 social and affordable homes that will come from the Housing Australia Future Fund. And then on top of that, there's the National Housing Accord, which we agreed and announced in the last budget between state and federal governments. And of course, our 30,000 is on top of what the states and territories are already doing. The last government's $350 million in addition will be 10,000 additional homes that will be added to by the states and territories, with another 10,000 affordable homes. And of course, there's the aspiration for the Accord of the 1 million homes right across the country of every sort over the 5 years. We've also brought forward our regional first-home buyer guarantee that has already helped 1,700 Australians into their first home in regional Australia. We have our government equity scheme, the Help to Buy, which will be coming out. And of course, our National Housing Supply and Affordability Council that we introduced into Parliament today will be working with all the other tiers of government to provide advice, independent advice about how we get more homes on the ground more quickly right across the country.